Oh, it's only right to play that tribute, man. It's only right to play that tribute to the one and only big dog, Roman Reigns. He is back in the WWE, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Brandon Lewis. Welcome to March. It's 28 degrees. It feels like we're in the middle of February, but it is indeed March. It is March 2nd. 2019. I'm back here, show number 5 of the semester. I got a great night's sleep last night, guys. I got about 8 to 9 hours of sleep. I'm ready to rock and roll. There's a lot of stuff that's going down today. The host of the Andrew Baca podcast, Andrew Baca, will be calling in at 10:30 to discuss Zion Williamson, the Cavs, LeBron in LA, and the Browns offseason if we get time to all of that. I'm also going to be reviewing Doug Pederson's book today, Fearless, How an Underdog Becomes a Champion. I'm going to be doing all of that today. I was going to have my WWE analyst, Michael Reiner, come in today because a lot of stuff went down in this past week's Raw and Smackdown. But Michael, unfortunately, had a personal obligation that he had to fulfill. So, unfortunately, he will not be here today, but we're going to see if he can be here next week. With that being said, there's not a lot of updates I need to get to. Besides that, I am working on getting my podcast not only on iTunes, but on Google Play as well. I'm working to get a station ID here going pretty soon so that all the DJs can hear my wonderful voice. And so if you listen to any other of our sports shows here on Buck Show Radio, you can listen to my wonderful voice while they play that ad. But yeah, that's mostly the projects that we're working on today. I do want to say I apologize last week if I kind of went on a tangent. I kind of felt like that I was not ranting on it, but I just kind of felt like that I needed to say some stuff off my chest and just, talk to the world about how I think of sports. And yeah, that was my take on it last week. So that was fun, though. Today, if you guys are watching the YouTube stream, I am repping my Nick Foles shirt/jersey. The man's a legend. You can read my article. I actually have 2 articles up right now on BuckShowRadio.com. One is about Nick Foles' career, and the other is about how this road to WrestleMania may be the bumpiest of all time. So you can go read those. I worked very hard on both those articles. In the WWE one specifically, I put a lot of YouTube clips and stuff that you guys can go watch. The Nick Foles article I worked on for 3 hours on Wednesday. Started at about 7, got posted about 10:30. So, with a half an hour of dealing with the editing software and getting it posted, but it is up now, and I can't wait for all of you to read it because I think it's a really good read. With that being said, though, let's dive into some NFL news today. So, just this morning, it was breaking that the Ravens have released running back Alex Collins. Now, Collins led the Ravens, in running a year ago, that being in 2017 when Joe Flacco was the starter. Alex Collins was involved in a wreck, and apparently it's his fault. He's facing drug charges for causing the accident, so the Ravens have let him go. Now, the Ravens don't play their running backs. I don't think Collins played since Lamar Jackson entered the lineup. I believe he was a healthy scratch. They used Gus Edwards, and they used Dixon, and they used Ty Montgomery, so they're not going to lose anything there. If Alex Collins does get on the field, though, I do think that he is a special player. I wouldn't take a risk on him, especially if I'm a running back needy team. We're going to get to this later. Why, if I'm the Eagles, I wouldn't want to go get Le'Veon Bell. You guys know me, and taking guys with character issues, I don't love it. Until you prove me otherwise, I don't want to take you. And I don't want to deal with that risk, and I don't want to deal with that media frenzy in the locker room. That's just me. So, let's see here. What else do we got going on? So, the Browns, the Browns need to get Odell Beckham. The Browns need to get Antonio Brown. Let's start with what the Browns already did. They re-signed Greg Robinson to a 1-year deal, which I personally like. I don't think Greg Robinson's the answer at left tackle. I've been saying this to you guys since the end of the season, since during the season, actually. The Browns need to update the depth chart specifically. They need to. I would go get a whole new offensive line. That's just me personally. I don't really like Hubbard at right tackle. I think J.C. Schroeder's a little bit overrated at center. 2 years ago, he couldn't block a pillowcase. You know, Zeitler, I cracked myself up with that. Zeitler, he's okay. Uh, Joe Batonio, I think he's our best lineman, and he's okay. He's had a lot of injuries in the past. Like he's decent. He's a good lineman, but I just think the Browns need an overhaul. I don't think this offensive line is the offensive line of the future. I don't think wide receiver is the position of the future either. I think the Browns desperately need a number one wide receiver. Now, yes, Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham, they are number one wide receivers, but they bring too much baggage. I understand the fact that there's not a lot of good free agents in this class. I understand that the draft class isn't that great. So I propose this to you today. This is just off the top of my head. I just thought of it now. If I'm the Browns that are going after Odell or AB, I'd go after Julio Jones or AJ Green. Now, remember, Julio Jones is the guy the Browns were supposed to get in 2011, but they traded down for Phil Taylor. I know the Falcons have had problems with his contract. They don't really want to give it to him. He's held out of camp for a contract, which I'm not against players holding out of camp for contracts that deserve one. But I think the Falcons' era is coming to an end. I think Matt Ryan's getting a little older. I think Julio Jones still a great player. They don't find him a way to get the ball in the red zone. I think if you give your first-round pick this year for Julio Jones and maybe a first or second next year, I think that's a fair deal. I think he brings less baggage than AB. I also think AJ Green. Now I know AJ Green's had issues in the past, and I know Cincinnati won't probably turn into a division rival. So I don't think AB's getting traded here. But I think it'd be worth, again, a first-round pick. I don't think AB is worth a first-round pick, but I do think AJ Green is worth a low first-round pick. I think Julio Jones is worth a lot more because I think Julio Jones is just a stud if you get the ball in his hand. So if I'm the Browns, my first two targets are Julio and Odell, and then I go after AJ, and then I go after AB last. But I think the Browns, they need to draft a receiver. They need to go out. They need to get a number one. They have their tight end Njoku. We have our running backs now. I think if you fix the depth chart with the offensive line, I think you get another rush end. I think you get another tackle, defensive that is. I think you get another linebacker, another corner with some free agent additions. I think this Browns team can be pretty good, and then it's up to Freddie Kitchens to see how the pieces fit. Let's see, what else? The Ravens, not only did they release Michael Crabtree, but earlier this week they released, not only have they released Alex Collins, but earlier this week they released Michael Crabtree. Now, if I'm the Browns, I go out and I get Michael Crabtree. Like I said, you go and get your number one. You have Antonio Callaway. You can get Michael Crabtree. Who else am I missing from this list? Rashard Higgins. I thought there was another receiver that I'm missing. Jarvis Landry. So Jarvis Landry can be your number two or your slot guy. You have Callaway. I think you have Michael Crabtree in that rotation, and then you get that number one. That's a pretty good looking receiver core. With that that 6th-round pick, Damian Ratley floating in there along with Higgins. I think that'd be a really good receiving core, and I think it'd be worth it. Andrew Whitworth and Terrell Suggs both announced they're returning for the 2019 season. That's no surprise, but just wanted to give you that news in case anybody thought they possibly were retiring. The franchise tag was used for the first time this offseason. Robbie Gould. Yes, the Niners franchise tagged a kicker. Now, I was back and forth on this, okay? Because I realize how important a kicker is, right? But see, Jake Elliott signed a 1-year deal with the Eagles. Safe money, good kicker. Now, I'm not saying Jake Elliott's a great kicker. He's a clutch kicker. To me, I'd rather have a clutch kicker that is going to make the 50-yarder or the 45-yarder or heck, the 62-yarder, Giants fans, late in the game to win the game. If he misses a 40-yard kick, in the first quarter, maybe twice a year, am I going to go, he needs to be cut? No. But I'd rather have the guy that's clutch than a guy that makes every kick in the first and second and third quarter and miss every fourth quarter kick there is. the way I look at it. Robbie Gould's a decent kicker. I don't know if I would franchise tag him, though. I mean, I think he's just as good as Greg Joseph. I get he was really good with the Bears. I don't think he's been that great with the San Francisco Niners, though. So, I don't know. I think John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan do a great job at running that organization. But, this might be a mistake. We'll see. Two Dallas Cowboys that are said to be free agents have both been suspended by the NFL. No surprise there. Randy Gregory, David Irving, both been suspended by the NFL. Randy Gregory earlier in the week. Randy Gregory may never play again. David Irving, who knows with him? This is either his first or second suspension. I'm not sure on that. But yeah, they're said to be free agents. And Dallas Cowboys, as I've always said, as an Eagles fan, and don't get me wrong, I know one of the co-hosts here for Mitch and Spinell, or Fitz and Spinell, excuse me, Mitch Spinell, is a huge Cowboys fan. You guys know I'm an Eagles fan. Look, I've said it all my life as an Eagles fan. All Cowboys players mostly are, besides Jason Witten, are thugs. They are. They always get in trouble. Every time player goes to the Cowboys, they're always getting arrested. Why? Because they look like a bunch of thugs. Don't tell me Dez Bryant didn't look like a thug when he was playing. He just did. His picture on Google looks like a mugshot from prison. Okay, like that's just who the Cowboys are. Michael Irving, when he's on TV, don't tell me that face looks like a literal thug face. Like I'm gonna beat the heck out of you. That's just who the Cowboys are. Not surprised more Cowboys players are in jail. Jerry Jones doesn't keep his head straight. Let's see. Marcel Darius, he restructured his contract for Jacksonville. That opens up $5 million in cap space for Jacksonville, which they could use to sign the greatest quarterback in NFL history, Nick Foles. I'm going to get to that, like I said, later in the show. This is hilarious. Former Browns head coach Pat Shurmur says Eli Manning is their future, and people got better around Eli Manning. If you guys are not watching on YouTube, you're watching on Buck Show Radio, you didn't see this, but I just threw my papers across the room because that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Eli Manning, the guy that can't move, the guy that literally I could beat if I'm slow walking in this wheelie chair right now in a 40-yard dash. The guy that has tied the league for most years, 3 straight years, leading the league in interceptions. The guy who is a below average quarterback, he's like 22 at best, I would say right now on the list off the top of my head. You think people got better with Eli Manning? Oh, thank God I'm not a Giants fan, and thank God they're in my division. They got Saquon Barkley, and I like that kid, and I feel so bad for him. That team is a disaster. The Broncos are bringing back veterans Emmanuel Sanders and Derek Wolfe. Okay. This is an interesting story. The Jets, now remember last year, the Jets, they got 3 second-round picks from the Colts in order for the Colts to move back to number 6. So the Jets, they gave 3 seconds to move up to number 3. This year, the Jets are looking to get those 3 seconds back as they look to move down from number 3, which I don't get why. I mean, this draft is a great defensive end draft. It's a great offensive line draft, and that's something the Jets need. Because Sam Darnold has no protection. Sam Darnold, the greatest quarterback of all time. Sam Darnold, he's the prototype. Sam Darnold, you can't pick Baker Mayfield. Sam Darnold, you know that guy, Sam Darnold? Yeah. You know the guy that Greg Williams is going to scare the heck out of the first day he gets there? Oh, Greg, don't swear. Shut the up. I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait for that. Richard Sherman apparently recruiting Earl Thomas to San Francisco. Again, San Francisco, man, I like their team, but it's all going to depend on Jimmy G. If they had Earl Thomas, I wouldn't be ecstatic because that means he's still in the NFC, but I'd be happier than if he went to Dallas. I do think that's a real possibility, and that does scare me a little bit because that would improve the Cowboys' defense a lot. But hopefully, Earl, Richard, maybe you bring back Cam Chancellor if he can come out of retirement like Jason Witten did. And, bring back the Legion of Boom in San Francisco to troll Seattle fans. That would be funny. All right, let's see. We got the greatest Monday Night Football crew in NFL history is broken up, people. No more. Hey, Jason, what'd you see on that play? Well, I think that's cover 2. Maybe it's cover 4. All right, well, let's go down to Booger McFarland. Yeah, Jason, I support people, doing that. I support the Cowboys. Oh, God, what did he say? Oh, what was that? It was the Redskins-Eagles game. Oh, who did the Redskins sign that was controversial? I can't think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, he was like supporting it. It wasn't DJ Swearinger because he got picked up by the Cardinals. Who did the Redskins sign? People didn't. Let me look this up real quick. It's gonna bother me, people. It's gonna bother me. All right, here we go. Here we go. What's his name? Reuben Foster. That's right. I couldn't think of it off the top of my head. See, so the Redskins signed Reuben Foster, and literally Booger McFarland and Jason Witten had a fight. And Jason Witten was like, I don't support it. And then Joe Tessitore was like, all right, well, let's go down to Booger. Booger was like, oh, I absolutely supported Tess. Trying to make up for that segment there. Sorry, guys. I completely drew a blank there. I couldn't think of the name. But yeah, that announced crew is destroyed. Thank goodness. And there's a rumor Joe Thomas is going to take over. Now, everybody thinks Joe Thomas. Does anybody listen to the Tomahawk Show? Oh, yeah, we do, because we love Joe Thomas. It's the best podcast in Cleveland. This guy literally supports Hugh Jackson. This guy, the day Hugh Jackson was fired, came out there and was like, well, it's a sad day for Cleveland. Hugh Jackson was fired. Now Baker Mayfield's not going to be able to develop. Do you guys remember the Thursday night game in Cleveland when Joe Thomas was there? He was like, I don't think Baker Mayfield should play at all this year. He's not ready. Tyrod Taylor can lead us to the playoffs with Hugh Jackson. You want this guy on Monday Night Football? Cleveland. Give me a break. To be honest, I would just put Booger McFarland up there and get rid of that stupid Boogermobile. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh, let's put this guy on a cart, drive him down the side. I just went silent because I don't know what to say about that. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, besides my rant on Monday Night Football, Jason Witten is coming back to the Cowboys. Now here's the thing, Jason Witten can't run. He's a good blocker. He maybe will catch a pass on 3rd and 2. He'll probably break my heart in a game against the Eagles, and then I'll eat my words. That's the way I see it. But right now, I don't think Jason Witten's going to make a big impact in Dallas. All right, here we go. The Combine schedule came out. So yesterday, they did the offensive linemen, the running backs, and the special teamers. Today is the tight end and the quarterbacks. It seems Kyler Murray will participate today, along with the wide receivers. Sundays then are the defensive line and the linebackers, and then Monday is the DBs. That's the schedule for the Combine. So here we go. So Kyler Murray, he's weighed in at 5'10", 207, 9.5-inch hands, compared to Russell Wilson, 5'10", 204, 10.5-inch hands. So you compare this here, same size. Murray is actually 3 pounds heavier, but Wilson's hand size is almost a full inch bigger, which, to be fair, an inch in football is everything. We've always said football is a game of inches. Look, I think Russell Wilson's the only quarterback I've seen that's that small and can be able to handle punishment. I think Russell Wilson's a better talent than Kyler Murray. I read a story this morning that the Cardinals are looking to interview Kyler Murray today. If the Cardinals take Kyler Murray, number one, they're making a big mistake. I don't think Kyler Murray is going to be the future. Now, they already made a mistake by hiring Cliff Kingsbury. I'm going to tell you guys this. You guys know Josh Rosen was my least favorite quarterback in the draft. I ranked the quarterbacks Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, and then Lamar Jackson. I didn't include Lamar in there. I'm talking about the big four, really. And Lamar was the fifth one, I think, on everybody's board. I still love Josh Allen. I think that kid's going to be really good with development. And I love Baker Mayfield. I think Josh Allen fits well in Buffalo. I think Baker Mayfield fits well in Cleveland. I don't think Sam Darnold fits well in New York. I will say this. I don't think Josh Rosen fits that well in Arizona in that atmosphere. But I don't think Josh Rosen is as bad of a quarterback as people think. I think Josh Rosen just needs work. As an offensive mind and as a quarterback mind, I was making a video about this. Because when I play a game, man, or even in real football when I play, right? If I know what the defense is in, there's only a couple guys on the play I can throw to. If it's cover 2, I'm throwing down the middle, right? I can't throw to the sideline. If it's cover 1, I can take a deep shot, or I can throw to the sideline, or sometimes I can throw down the middle, depending on how stretched the defense is. So as long as you know the coverages, and Josh Rosen doesn't have an offensive line, and I think that Josh Rosen having a defensive coach with a bad offensive coordinator didn't help him. I think Josh Rosen needs some development, but I'm not against Josh Rosen completely. I've kind of changed my tune on that. I used to be 100% out on Rosen. Now I'm 70% out. I said I don't think Josh Rosen's going to be the best quarterback in the draft. Everybody comparing him to Aaron Rodgers was stupid. Doesn't know football. But I think Josh is in a bad situation, but I would hate to see him get moved because it's just going to wreck his career like Ryan Leaf almost. Do we have any more NFL news here that I wrote down on my extra sheets? Because there was some stuff that came out this morning. Oh, that's right. Adam Schefter reported that Antonio Brown's 3 teams that he's going to would be right now the front runners are Tennessee and the Grudens, Oakland and Washington. Now, Pittsburgh says they're not trading him to the AFC, so it looks like right now Washington will be the front runner. I don't know if Washington wants to go for Nick Foles. I don't know if they want to stick with Colt McCoy. I don't know what they're going to plan to do. I don't know if they plan on drafting Tua next year. Heck, I would wait for Trevor Lawrence. I think that kid's a lot better than Tua. I don't know what their plan is, but it's I don't understand it. If I'm Pittsburgh, I personally trade him to Oakland, try to get 1 or 2 of those picks. That's where I would go with them. And finally, my man Brandon Graham. I was torn today between wearing a Nick Foles and BG jersey because BG is back, man. $12 million signing bonus, $28 million guaranteed, 3 years, $40 million. That's a good contract for Brandon Graham, man. BG's a heck of a player. Missed all training camp last year with an injury. That's why I think he had a little bit of a down year. But, you look at my team right now. I'm getting really excited about this Eagles team. I'm going to talk a lot about our head coach in about a half an hour. But this team, we got our quarterback in Carson Wentz. Our backup quarterback I do like. I think he does have potential to one day be a low-tier starter in this league, Nate Sudfeld. I actually think he has more potential than Nick Foles down the line if he learns. I think this kid's got some potential from what I've seen in the preseason. And again, I know preseason doesn't mean anything, but I think when you just watch guys, there's some guys that even struggle in the preseason. Sudfeld has not, for the most part, he's played pretty well. And, when there's a play to be made, he tends to make plays. So I like Nate Sudfeld. I think our running back situation is a little bit tedious because I know we got Josh Adams and Wendell Smallwood who may not even make the roster. I would love to bring back Garrett Blunt, left to Detroit Blue, one of my favorite players in the league. There's no doubt that's how I always say his name, LeGarrette Blount. I just love Blount. I mean, he runs people over. He's just a beast. I'd love to bring back J.H.I. on a 1-year deal. Howie Roseman doesn't invest in running backs, nor should he. I think receiver-wise, we got Jeffrey. If we can get another receiver to stretch the field, we do got Aguilar. Maybe we draft the Hollywood Brown out of Oklahoma. We got our 2 tight ends in Ertz and Goddard. I think our offensive line is great. With JP coming back, that'll significantly, handle the offensive line. One weak spot is left guard, and I'm worried about Sayamao. I think he needs to be replaced, but I don't think he's going to. We spent a 4th-round draft pick on him, and the Eagles like him. So, we'll see how he develops. I think the strength of our team is defensive line, And, and I think our corners, we got Maddox, LeBlanc, Jalen Mills coming back, Sidney Jones. I think that's 4 good corners right there, along with Douglas. So that makes 5. Don't see how Ronald Darby comes back. But I like the youth of this team. We got a good mix of youth and veterans, and I can't wait to see what this team does in 2019. With that being said, in 5 minutes, Andrew Baca is going to call in. The host of the Andrew Baca podcast. He's been on this show one time before. Me and him have known each other. We've been best friends for 11, 12 years now. He's going to call in 5 minutes. We're going to talk about Zion Williamson. Now, I have stats here, by the way. And he doesn't know this yet either. I have stats here, by the way, of Zion, RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, and my favorite player in the draft besides Zion, Bol Bol. I have all 4 of their stats. I have their points, their rebounds, their assists, their shooting, their free-point percentage, and their free throws. I have all of that we're going to dive into. I have a Cavs update on the odds for the number 1 pick. I have a Lakers update. They lost the Bucks last night, unfortunately. And yeah, we're also going to talk about the Browns offseason with Andrew and see what he thinks they need to improve. We're going to go over all of that in the next half an hour. Andrew will be here at 10:30. So until then, enjoy the song here. Let's see. I'm going to play Duke's Travels by Genesis. And then when this is over, we'll be back and we'll bring Andrew on. So again, you are listening to Brandon's World here on Buck Show Radio. right, we are back here on Brandon's Roll. Let's see here. Andrew, can you hear me? Yep. All right, yep, you are live here on the air here on Brandon's World on this Saturday, March 2nd, 2019. The host of the Andrew Baca podcast, Andrew Baca. Andrew, how are you? All right, well, that's good. All right, so let's not waste any time here. We got a lot to get into. So, we know a lot about these prospects here, with Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish. Who do you like most and why? All right. Let me say this. So I did some research last night because I was curious too because I haven't watched a lot of college basketball and I haven't watched a lot of the Cavs. Um, so here's some stats for you. So Zion is 6'7". He's a forward. His average this year 22 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. He shot 68% from the field, but only 29% from three. He shot a 67% free throw. I mean, it's okay. The 68% from the field I like. The 67% free throw can improve. The 29% from three is what I don't like. Now here's RJ Barrett's stats compared to that. He's also 6'7". He averaged one more point a game, but two less rebounds, two more assists. But he only has shot 46% from the field, including 33% from three and only 68% from the free throw line. So that is not a lot better compared to Zion. Now, Cam Reddish, he's 1 inch taller. He's 6'8". He averaged only 14 points a game, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. He only shot 36% from the field, 34% from three, but he shot 78% from the free throw line. So when I look at those three guys, I think across the board, I'm saying, okay, points, Zion and RJ are up there. Rebounds, Zion's got the most. Assists are tied between RJ and Reddish. Shooting percentage wise goes in very much favor to Zion, but the free throw percentage goes to Cam Reddish. So it really depends on what you value to me. It really depends on what your team need is. But I disagree with you a little bit on Zion, a Sean Kemp level. I put Zion more in that LeBron level, and I'm not kidding you. I think this kid has a potential to be a superstar LeBron, Kevin Durant type player if he's in the right system. And it may not be here. It may be in New York. But I think Zion has by far the most potential out of all three of these guys. See, they have Knox. They have a few other players too. Now, I agree with you. They're in a worse situation right now than the Cavs. But if the Knicks land, this is where I think, this is where I'm at on free agency. The Knicks, no matter if they get Zion or not, it doesn't matter. They're either getting both KD and Kyrie, or they're getting neither of them. So the way I look at it, if they get Zion, they may even trade Zion. They may do what we did with Andrew Wiggins. We don't know what the Knicks' plans are. I think Zion Williamson, KD, and Kyrie Irving would be a dominant big three. I think you could play KD at the 4 or 5. Play Zion at the 3. You can play Knox at the 2. You can play Irving at the 1. Imagine that lineup. That would roll through the East. That could give even Golden State or whoever made it out of the West at that point some competition. That's why I look at another bench. Their bench may not be very good, but that starting lineup would be lethal. They would be the 2015 Cavaliers, to be honest, next year if that happened. All right, so let's really quickly go into Bol. My favorite player in the draft personally. Bol, by the way, he's 7-2 in 9 games this year. You want to know what Bol's done in 9 games he played this year? He had 21 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist. He shot 56%, 52% from free, and 76% free throws. Yeah. By the way, I'm hearing a little bit of a wood pecking sound in my headset. I don't know if that's the recorder that we're using to record this call so that I can upload it to our clip, but it's just like a little pecking sound. Yeah, no problem. But yeah, Bol, he's 7-2. And like I said, in 9 games, he has 21 points, 10 rebounds. Now, he only has 1 assist, but 56%, 52% from free, and a 76% free throw. Now, if he didn't get hurt, wouldn't he be the number 1 pick easily? Oh, yes, it does. No, I would completely argue in the NBA, height is everything. Now, there's a few exceptions, like Simbular, who I completely fell in love with. I thought he should have been the number 1 pick in the draft. You know by affiliation, yes, he was 7'5". He played for the Kings in the summer league, got cut. He was like the last pick in the draft. Um, Yeah, you just if anybody knows me, they know I believe in the NBA height matters, especially when you have a guy like Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons that have point guard skills at 6'11/7 foot. Bol has that ability. Like this Bol guy, people are overlooking. Whoever is going to get this guy to me is going to get a steal. To be honest, I would make my case right now, and you guys know I just said how much I love Zion Williamson. I would have to flip a coin if I was in the Cavs front office right now between Zion and Bol. I'm not looking at Cam Reddish. I'm not looking at RJ Barrett. Yeah, could they beat James Harden? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but James Harden has never won a championship because scoring doesn't matter. They don't have that alpha dog in them. To me, Zion and Bol are the only two that have the alpha dog in them. And again, I look at the NBA a lot different than other people because people look at stats and I look at championships. But that's just my take on it. I don't love the other two, and I'm just in love with Bol. Oh yeah, look though. Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's go to the updated odds. So the Cavs right now. Now you know this. Hopefully, I don't know if you did, but the lottery changed this year. So the bottom 3 teams have the same odds of getting the number 1 pick. So the Cavs right now are the 3rd worst team. So they would have the same odds as the Knicks and the Suns. The Cavs are currently 15-47. Now, if I'm the Cavs, by the way, I don't understand why you keep winning, because the Bulls are only 17-45. So if you win 2 more games, you're going to be out of that top spot, basically. So, I think this is hard, man. You know how I feel about tanking. If I'm the Cavs, I tank to the ground. I get rid of Kevin Love. I get rid of everybody, but I don't think we're going to. And I just hope that we have an opportunity to get one of these guys. Yeah, we were down by no. This is what happened because I watched the highlights on the news. The Knicks quit in the fourth quarter. The Knicks were up by 15, and they want to score like 30 straight points in the fourth quarter because they want to lose because they're smart. Exactly. Uh, it's painful to watch your team to lose, but this is what you got to do in a week that's rigged like the NBA. Let me ask you this then: on draft night, if you could get Kevin Love for an extra first round pick, would you do it? I agree. I would completely do it. All right, let's shift because we got about 15 minutes here, and I want to cover everything with you. Let's shift to my boy LeBron James and the LA Lakers. Now, you are not fond of LeBron going to LA. The Lakers lost again last night. They ended up losing to the Milwaukee Bucks by a score of 131 to 120. They led by 1 at the end of the third quarter. They coughed up the lead. Brandon Ingram had an amazing game. He put up, I believe it was over 25 points. I didn't look at the total stats. But I know Ingram had a great game. I know LeBron had a great game, but the rest of them couldn't close it out. Lakers are currently right now everybody's making a big deal about the Lakers because of the 10th seed and they're 4 games back of the win column. But they're only 3 games back now of the loss column, and that's what you need to look at to me. So I'm not panicking. I think LeBron and crew do end up making the playoffs. People are making too much of a big deal about it to me, so I'll let you respond. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, okay? They were the 4th seed when LeBron went down with his groin injury, and since he came back, it's been almost a disaster. But I brought this point up to you, and I think it's a fair point. Would you really want to try either if you want to avoid Golden State as much as possible? Right now Golden State's they're tied for the 1, so they could be the 1 or the 2. So if you're the Lakers, you're hoping to get either the 7th seed if they're the 1 seed, or you're hoping to get the 8th seed if Golden State's the 2 seed. You want to avoid Golden State. I think that's what LeBron's trying to do. And, I don't think he's trying as hard because he realized I can't beat Golden State. I think the LA thing, I've said this multiple times, I don't have a problem with it because it gets him away from Dan Gilbert. His family's happy. He's building his brand, and he gets to teach these young kids a lot. I do think they find another superstar eventually. Now, I've told you this. I don't think it's Magic Johnson's fault. I don't think it's LeBron's fault that they didn't get AD. I believe it's LeVar's fault. If LeVar didn't open his mouth, I think AD's a Laker right now, and I think everybody's shutting up. So I think people are just overlooking it, in my opinion. Zubac, yeah, that's the one trade I didn't understand. I don't understand that trade at all. Yeah, but I don't think LeBron wanted to go to San Antonio. I thought the place he was actually going to go, if it wasn't staying in Cleveland, was Philadelphia. But I think here's the thing that I think the argument with LeBron is he got bored with the East. He got bored of winning. And I think what he realizes, if I make it to the finals, it doesn't impact my legacy because I can't beat Golden State. It doesn't matter how many finals I get to. And it doesn't matter if I go out west because Golden State's going to beat me anyways. So let me have a challenge. Let me write a different narrative. Can you think about the narrative? Let's say they get the 8th seed on the last day and Golden State drops to the 2 seed and Denver's the 1 seed. Could you imagine if the Lakers make the Western Conference Finals, which I think is a possibility at that point? Could you imagine? I mean, I like the team. I think Brandon Ingram's developing. I think Kyle Kuzma's developing. I think the narrative would be incredible. Yeah, it was 2007 actually. Yeah, I know. I mean, I haven't watched any of the NBA this year. Speaking of a league that was dying, let's go to a league that's not dying. Let's go to a league that's almost arguably at an all-time high. Let's go to the NFL for the last 10 minutes because I do want to get your take on the Browns off season. Um, what do you think about the possibility I threw out at the start of the show about maybe trying to go get a Julio Jones over Odell or AB? By the way, Julio Jones is age 30. I wanted to point this out. Jones is age 30. Matt Ryan is 32. So Atlanta's getting older. I think Atlanta's window is closing. I think you can make a legitimate argument. Give me your first. Excuse me. Say that again. I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can make that argument. Anyways, that's why I'm making the point. You can go get Julio. I will wait for your 17th pick this year and maybe a third or fourth next year. I really think you go make that deal. I think John Dorsey, he's a great promoter. He can do that. And I'd rather go after a guy like him than a guy like Odell Beckham or Antonio Brown. Especially especially with a rookie head coach and a general manager with a big ego. And that's where this thing is either going to work terrifically for years or it's going to blow up. Uh, Give me your thoughts. Go on. John Dorsey has one of the biggest egos in the NFL. I can't even argue that with you. There's a reason why he got fired in Kansas City. Yes, he built a great team, but him and Andy Reid clashed because John Dorsey has a big ego. It's his way or the highway. He got it with the Haslam. If you don't see John Dorsey has a big ego, then I don't know what you can't see because somehow John Dorsey convinced Jimmy Haslam to give him all the power. And this thing is all on John Dorsey. Nothing is on Jimmy Haslam. You cannot put any blame on Jimmy Haslam like you can with Dan Gilbert and Dolan now. Can't do it. This whole team is John Dorsey's team. It's his roster. It's his coach. If this thing does not work in the first 2 years, Freddie Kitchens is gone, John Dorsey is gone, and we are the LA Chargers of Cleveland, basically, where Baker Mayfield is going to be left alone for 15 years. And that's all we're going to have because that's what Philip Rivers had for 15 years. Baker Mayfield's career won't turn into Philip Rivers. I'm telling you that right now. And I'm not backing off that. All right, we got about 2 minutes left here to wrap this up. Give me your overall. You don't have to give me a grade per se, but what do you think of the Browns off season so far, and where do you think they need to improve going into the draft and going into free agency? Yeah, I agree. All right, Andrew, I'm going to let you go ahead and plug your podcast here for the next 7 minutes. I know I've been on twice and you've had some great interviews, so fire away, my friend. Is there a place where guests can email you or DM you or contact you anywhere like that? All right, that's fair enough. Thank you, Andrew. The Andrew Baca podcast, one of the best podcasts around, and I'm not just saying that, it truly is. Thank you, Andrew, for joining me. You always give great takes. You will be on the show later in this semester as we have planned. Uh, Andrew is going to come down here during draft weekend, and we are going to do a 2-hour live draft review. That's the plan right now going into the end of April. So you guys will hear Andrew soon enough. All right, Andrew, is there anything else that you want to mention or anything else you want to say? All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and drop the call, and we're going to go ahead and take a break. We will be back here at the top of the hour where I review Doug Pederson's book, Fearless, How Underdog Becomes Champion. Andrew, thanks for joining us. No problem. We'll be back in about 2 minutes, guys.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into Black Squirrel Region.
All right, guys, hour 2 in Brandon's World. Here we go. La, 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 la. Brandon's World. Do, do, do. La, 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 La la la. Brandon's World. Do do do. Brandon has an NBA championship, a Super Bowl ring. Oh, do 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 do. That's Brandon's World. Do 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 do. One of these days, I'm going to show you those rings. They are sweet. All right, guys, welcome in here to hour 2. Thank you, Andrew Baca, for calling in. That was the Andrew Baca podcast. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at @A_Baca55. He's a great podcast. Thank you for calling. You can call in at any time. With that being said, guys, we're going to jump in here, and I'm going to review a book that I just finished reading a couple weeks ago. And it is a book that is near and dear to my heart at this point. It's a book that the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Doug Pederson, wrote. And let me tell you guys, man, Douglas Irving Pederson, born 131, 1968, one of the greatest men to have ever been born on this earth. I learned so much in this book. And I'm not going to reveal like this is a book of 5 stars and this is what's good, what's bad. No, I'm just going to tell you. I learned so much from this book. I learned how to build a team. I learned what goes on behind the scenes. I learned about Doug and his family and just what he believes in. He always says faith, family, then football, and, just the grind and his mindset. He told a story about how during the AFC Championship game, remember the year we went to the Super Bowl, the NFC Championship game was the 6:30 game. So you got a chance to watch the AFC Championship game. If you guys remember when Jacksonville took a knee when they were up, 20-10 at halftime against New England? Well, Doug Pederson said he watched that game and said to himself, they're going to lose because they weren't aggressive. Well, he was right. Doug Pederson always preaches that aggressive style, and I'm just so proud that he's our coach. We talked about in 2016 all the doubters, and he even doubted himself. He wasn't sure he was right for the job. His motto in 2016 for the team was chop wood. We're going to build the building blocks this year, and he learned from that first year. And as he said, there was a lot of stuff he did wrong. There was a lot of bad play calls he made, but he learned and he adapted and he knew what he needed to do in 2017 to fix it. Long and behold, the Eagles were 13-3 and ended up winning Super Bowl 52, one of the best nights of my life. He also admitted that he wasn't sure that Nick Foles was going to lead the team to the Super Bowl when Carson Wentz went down, but he told a great story about how he was the only one that interviewed Nick Foles during the 2012 NFL Draft Combine, and they got along really well. Andy Reid sent him out to look at Nick Foles. He was the only coach there. Watched Nick Foles work out, and they talked for hours, not just one, multiple hours, about faith, family, and football. And they had a really good connection. And, they rebonded that connection when Nick Foles came to Philadelphia because Nick Foles almost retired. Andy Reid brought him back. And then when Kansas City was going to draft Patrick Mahomes, Nick Foles was out of work. We needed a backup quarterback for Carson Wentz, and it was a perfect fit. Turns out that Nick Foles told him he always wanted to return to Philly because he always felt like there was unfinished business. And, when he got a chance to watch that 2013 tape with Chip Kelly, he saw that Nick Foles liked a lot of the RPOs, and that's what they went to, and they just formed this bond, and everything worked. And it's just about adapting, and about being aggressive, and about play calling, and about life, and about how high school coaching was one of the best things he's ever done, and it was rewarding because he got to coach. He talked about as a coordinator, you coach a lot, but as a head coach, you're not doing a lot of teaching. You're just overseeing the operation. He loved working with those high school kids. His son now is a college quarterback. He talked about in the off season, missing a training camp day or whatever to go see his son graduate. Those big moments that he lets his coaches go for because those are big moments in life. And he's just a person. He talks to every player during the week, not about football, but about what's going on in their life. Him and Carson Wentz bonded over hunting. Just being a person, letting them know that he's more of a father figure to them than a coach that yells. And as he admitted, there's some times where he has to snap, but he's just a really overall good person. The players seem to respond to that. And when he knows that he's not pushing the right button, he's going to keep pushing the button until he finds the right one. That's what you got to do sometimes. And as he admitted the other day at the Combine, he thought that if Alshon Jeffrey makes that catch, and I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, If Jeffrey makes that catch, we're going on another Super Bowl run because I do believe that we do beat the Los Angeles Rams in LA. So again, it's just about, it's a great book. It tells the story about this amazing team. Tells the story about him and his whole career when he got cut by Philadelphia and he was really mad at Andy Reid. And when he went to Cleveland and beat the Patriots as the starting quarterback of the Browns, he didn't really want to come to Cleveland. But the coach at the time, who I believe was it? Let me look up the Browns coach 2001. I believe it was Butch Davis. Hold on, my computer's loading up here. I believe it was Butch Davis. And Doug Pederson had a great talk. Yeah, it was. It was Butch Davis. So, him and Butch had a great talk, and Butch ended up bringing Doug along, and Doug and Phil Dawson ended up bonding. And when Doug ended up retiring, him, his wife, Jenny, Phil Dawson, his wife, went on a trip. And that's how Doug Pederson ended up being a retirement. But yeah, Phil Dawson, he said it was a great teammate. He loved and respected Phil. Him and Phil still talk to this day. And Doug Pederson, he even talked about the art of holding. He even mastered how to hold a football. Yes, there's such a thing. And it's all the way down to those little details. The technique of holding that he showed John Harbaugh, who was a special teams coach when Andy Reid was still in Philadelphia before he got the Baltimore job. Doug Pederson taught John Harbaugh that when he was a player in Philadelphia. So this guy just knows everything. He's a great guy. He's a backup quarterback. He's learned a lot. He talked about how he knows how to prepare as a backup and a starter. And now there's a lot of great play callers in this league, but he feels like he has an advantage because he played. And I agree with that. And I talk about this all the time. I talk about this on my show when I played Draft Champions in Madden, and I've kind of given you guys those references that, when I play a game now over these last couple months, I've been just saying to myself, I'm going to be aggressive and I'm going to win this game. Even when I'm down 14-0 at the end of the first quarter because I made a bad pass or whatever, I'm saying to myself, I'm going to win this game. And I find a way to win the game because I adjust. Now, Madden, they got to fix this new patch update, man. Not to get off topic, but if you guys play Madden, don't go into Madden right now because this new patch is terrible. Every running back play, if your guy should be tackled for a -3-yard loss, they fall forward for a gain of 3. Just everybody falls forward, and it's really stupid. EA needs to fix that. But, when I play a game, it's just belief, man. That's what it's all about, belief, faith, family, football. And just having fun out there and letting it ride and never giving up. And it's an incredible story from an incredible man. And as he said, he told the team the day after the Super Bowl when they were cleaning out their lockers, he said, you better come prepared to work because people are going to be coming. And if we go 4-12, I deserve to get fired. That was his mindset. And, I thought he did a great coaching job at the end of the year. And like I said, I like this roster. I like this team. And I'm very proud of Doug, and I'm very proud of the man who he is. And I'm very proud that he's the head coach of the Eagles. Now for 5 minutes, I'm going to talk a little bit about Nick Foles. Because to me, Nick Foles is the best backup quarterback in NFL history. I wrote about it in my article again, BucksForRadio.com. But to me, Nick Foles is overrated a little bit. Everybody's acting like Jacksonville, and I put up a poll with the Raiders, Dolphins, Giants, and Jacksonville, and y'all think he's going to go to Jacksonville. If he goes to Jacksonville, he's screwed because Doug Marrone doesn't want his offensive coordinator, which is now John DeFilippo, by the way. He does have Philadelphia connections. He was a quarterback coach when Nick Foles was there in 2017 when we won the Super Bowl. He's not going to want to throw the ball. Doug Marrone, and again, this is going to be a conflicting clash, I think, because John DeFilippo doesn't like to run the ball, and Doug Marrone doesn't like to pass the ball. So I don't know how that's going to work. But I don't think Nick Foles is going to fit well in Jacksonville. I don't think he's going to fit anywhere else in Philadelphia. I love Nick Foles. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Backup, that is. But I think he fits our system. Doug Pederson, Andy Reid, maybe John Gruden in Oakland. That West Coast system, those RPOs. I think Nick Foles is exceptional at that. I think he's just a believer. I think you got to get him in the right situation. And I don't think Jacksonville's that situation. Again, I've been saying this for the longest time. Don't count on Nick Foles. It will be not good, and it's just going to be a disaster, in my opinion. All right, let me move on here a little bit. Let's talk about Bryce Harper. So Bryce Harper, he signed a 13-year contract. That's right, folks. 13 years. Guys, 13 years, $330 million, no trade clause, no opt-out. Phillies, I get you wanted Bryce Harper, but to me, you overpaid. I don't understand this in baseball, man. I know Andrew said before the NBA is set up where the rich get richer and the poor get poor. He's right, but to me, baseball is that sport where the rich get richer and the poor get poor. And, you know, if I'm an Indians fan, I hate this deal because this worries me about Francisco Lindor. I think Bruce Jordan, who's on 4:30 to 6:30, Monday through Thursday, Sports Time Ohio. Welcome back, Bruce. Welcome back. He made a great point on Tuesday. And he said Lindor 2 years ago passed down a 6-year, $100 million contract. And he was an idiot for it because he was only making less than $1 million at a time and he could have insured his future. But now he's looking to get $400 million. So we have for 2019, 2020, and 2021. And in the 2020, going into the 2022, that's a tongue twister, 2022 off season and season, we're going to lose Lindor because it doesn't matter how much money we have. It doesn't matter if we win 3 World Series. We're not going to have enough money to pay for it. It doesn't matter if we get rid of everybody in our team because we're a small market. It's not Dolan's fault. Again, why does everybody blame Dolan? I talked about this last week. There's no reason to blame Dolan when he spent the most money the last 2 years than any owner in Indians history. We had a World Series team in 2016, an underdog team at best, but I thought it was built right to win a World Series. 2017 team I thought was better. They just didn't have good chemistry. 2018 team didn't really have the greatest chemistry either. I think it went on Encarnacion, to be honest, was kind of part of that. I don't think he's really a locker room guy, you know. And I kind of like this team, as I mentioned. I think this team has a lot of that 2016 underdog feel in them. And, you know, here we go. But we better hang on for these next 3 years because after that, we're losing Lindor. And as I said, it doesn't matter the money. What matters is the fact that he wants to go to the biggest market, the team that'll pay him the most. Philadelphia, 13 years, no trade, no opt-out. That's just crazy, man. I think Bryce Harper's a good player. I think it puts the Phillies over the top. I do think the Phillies win the NL East. I think that they will actually probably get either the 2 or the 3 seed. I think the NL West gets the 1. I don't think Chicago will get the 1. I think if I had to put it on paper right now, I'd go Dodgers, Phillies, Cubs, and maybe flip that around between the Phillies and Cubs. But yeah, I mean, overall, I don't understand why you're paying a guy 13 years for $30 million. Seems like a lot. It seems like a Manny Machado, Albert Pujols, Alex Rodriguez type deal with the Rangers, where you're going to maybe get 1 more championship out of them if you're lucky, but at the most, they're just sitting there taking your money. And I wouldn't do it if I was an owner. I'm not paying Lindor $450 million for 15 years or whatever crazy contract. Mike Trout's going to get probably a good offer from Philadelphia because they're a pretty big market, which is why they were able to sign Harper. Washington was never, I don't believe anybody. Everybody was, I knew Bryce Harper was going to Philly. I knew back in November. I had legitimate sources in Philadelphia that I've been reading that said Bryce Harper deal was done in basically November, and they were just working on the money. So again, guys, don't trust everything you hear. But the fact of the matter is Bryce Harper's a Philly, and people are making too big of a deal about it. All right, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of a longer break, and I'm going to go ahead and rest my voice a bit. I got a 30-second break, and I haven't really done any break yet, really. It's been a packed show today. We come back. I am talking the return of Roman Reigns, the return of Batista, the return of Kevin Owens, the return of Matt Hardy. Yes, all 4 of those guys returned this week. Now, the Raw ratings were up. The SmackDown ratings were down. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the Honky Tonk Man going into the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm going to be talking Dean Ambrose possibly staying in WWE. I'm going to be talking about all of this big news in WWE, including creative changes and why this word WrestleMania has been weird but fun. All that coming up at 11:30. And then we're going to go over the Flash update for the last 5 or 10 minutes because Kent State men's basketball lost last night and they could be in trouble making the MAC tournament. We're going to talk about all that in the next 45 minutes. I'm Brandon Swan.
Greetings, citizens. I'm Space Ghost, and you're listening to my favorite radio station.
Alright guys, we are back here on the last NR Branch Row. Before we get into some wrestling, I do want to do some live reads for you. In the middle of my interview with Andrew, I did not want to interrupt to do these, so I want to just go ahead and get them both out of the way now. Just like I went and played the station ID so that we can go the rest of the show. So here we go. We got some PSR merch for you. Man, we are getting PSR merch, and let me tell you, they are sweet. You are going to want to buy some. So did you know that BSR sells station merch? Well, we do. We have several different types of t-shirts, stickers, pins, record bowls, and more. Yes, the BSR Sticker Project. If you get a BSR sticker posted anywhere in the world, tweet at us at BSR Kent. Use the hashtag BSR Sticker Project. We'd love to see those stickers. Check out our merchandise via our website, BuckStreetRadio.com. You can find the shop link in the top corner of our site. Stay tuned and show everyone you are nuts for BSR by buying all of your favorite station merch. And like I said, they are sweet. I have some merch of my own. You guys need to get more, and so do I. Hey, listeners, think about leaving us after the show? Well, don't. Why? Because we have 55 other fantastic shows that play 7. That's right, 7 days a week. That's including Sunday. Every day from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., our programs for the random radio and are guaranteed to rock your socks off. Also, look out for ticket giveaways and other promotions throughout the semester, or, of course, for me, gift card giveaways. If you need even more Blackstar Radio in your life, make sure to check out the amazing music, TV, and pop culture articles on our website. And remember to keep it locked on blackstarradio.com. And finally, I have one more merch for you. Hey, listeners, do you need a DJ? Our mobile DJ crew is available to pull out locally and spin any requested genre to set the vibe you need for any event. Book one of our very affordable professional DJs today by emailing us at psrmobiledjs@gmail.com. Again, that's psrmobiledjs@gmail.com. PSR is here for you. And yes, we are. Join our team today. With that being said, guys, I'm going to give you guys my opinion. Now, that's a word I can never spell when I was a kid. Opinion. But we're going to go and dive in here into some WWE because Monday night, kick off the show in Atlanta, that song that I played to kick off this segment, hit the arena, and let me tell you, fans were screaming as they should have. Now, shout out to you, Roman, because you got me. You're a great actor, Roman. The way that man came out, I thought he was retiring. He looked all emotional. He looked all sad. He didn't look like he was in a good mood. His mom was there, and I was like, oh, my God. I was like, this man's retiring. This man's cancer got worse. I was wrong. It got better. And as Roman said, I'm in remission, y'all. Yes. Heck yes, you are, Roman. And even better yet, it looks like the Shield is returning. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins saved Dean Ambrose from an attack from Elias, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, and Baron Corbin. This looks like it's turned up to be an 8-man tag at Fastlane WWE. Fastlane, March 10th, Cleveland, Ohio. It looks like Cleveland at the Q. That was that LeBron belt that Dan Gilbert's taking credit for. It looks like that's where Roman Reigns is going to be returning. And Roman, I couldn't be more proud to have your first match right here, about 40 minutes away from us here at Kent State University. Just amazing. I can't believe this guy is back. This suit. Let alone, I didn't think. Now, the way I would have booked it, by the way, is I would have had him return at the 2020 Royal Rumble. That's the earliest I thought he was going to come back. I thought he'd return and win it and go on to win the Universal Championship at WrestleMania 36, which has been announced will take place in Roman Reigns' hometown in Tampa Bay, Florida. Pensacola, Florida is where he's from. That's like 30 minutes away from Tampa Bay. I thought that's where Roman Reigns would finally win the Universal Championship, which may still happen. But this man, the leukemia must have been minor because in 4 months, this man's not only, well, cancer-free, thank goodness, but he's back in the WWE ring spearing people. And by the way, there was somebody that tried to boo Roman on Raw. This is the first time I ever heard Roman Reigns completely get cheered, ever. And I mean, even when he was at the Shield, there were some boos. First time by himself, Roman Reigns cheered. Besides one guy who thought it would be funny to boo him. That guy got his butt kicked. I'm not even kidding. That guy got kicked by fans, was thrown out, and people started chanting Roman Reigns again. Really loudly. Don't do that. What kind of person would think that'd be funny? I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm so glad Roman Reigns is back, and this will be the beginning of his tremendous face run. Now, again, I wasn't the biggest fan of Roman Reigns when he first came into the WWE. I was like all of us saying it. Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. But now I'm one of the biggest Roman Reigns fans. And by the way, it wasn't even the leukemia. I was starting to get into Roman around WrestleMania last year. I was like, why am I hating on this guy when he's working so hard? He cuts good promos. It was actually the Shield thing when they returned, when John Cena faced him at No Mercy 2017, which was incredible. I think that's when I really started to become a fan of Roman Reigns. Because that's also when I started to become more of a fan of John Cena. You know, I used to be with all of you. John Cena sucks! John Cena sucks! And just chanting all that. But, man, when you realize what these guys have gone through, when you realize the characters they're building and the promos they're building, like, they're great. John Cena, to me, is the greatest WWE wrestler of all time, as he should be. I think he's better than Ric Flair at this point in his career. And I respect him, and I respect Roman. And if the Shield reunites at Fastlane, you better believe I'm ready for it. Another return that happened on Raw is the animal Dave Batista. Now, we were celebrating Ric Flair's 70th anniversary, and when they went to bring out Ric Flair, he was lying on the ground, and Batista was dragging him out of the locker room, screaming, "Harder! Do I have your attention now? Huh? Huh?" Like, that was great. Do you guys remember Evolution 2014, the reunion with Batista, Triple H, and Randy Orton? That's a great song, by the way. I'm going to probably play that next week. I see the line in the sand. Great song. Do you guys remember the night after Payback when Seth Rollins turned on the Shield? Why did he turn on the Shield? Because Triple H and Randy Orton needed a new member because Batista quit. Because Triple H told him to go home. There's a lot of great heel moments in Batista's career. One of them has to be, I'm just starting to chuckle right now, when at Extreme Rules 2010, when he's facing John Cena, and the fan goes, "I hate you, Batista," and he goes, "I hate you too." Or when he's just looking at Ray and goes, "Ray, I'm going to rip your head off." Like, I just love heel Dave. The fact Dave is back is great. This may lead to a Batista retirement angle, but this is me as a fan, right? I'm thinking of a bigger angle. I'm thinking, is this going to lead to a Triple H Mr. McMahon match? Because Mr. McMahon, did he bring back Batista? Did he send Batista to attack Ric Flair? Why did Mr. McMahon insert Charlotte Flair into the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania? Why did Mr. McMahon insert Kevin Owens over Kofi Kingston at Fastlane? Is this going to lead to a Triple H, Stephanie, and Shane versus a Vince power struggle, and that's how they're going to get Vince out of WWE and into the XFL? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Michael just texted me. Oh, all right, Michael. Thank you for listening in. He just said, quote, and again, this is one of the swear words technically we can say in the air, so I'm going to say the whole quote. "Hell no. Cena will never be better than Flair. Take it back." Michael, come on next week. We can discuss this. John Cena, 16th on world champion, the GOAT, I believe, as Michael Cole always says. He believes he's the best wrestler of all time. I believe that as well. Michael, hopefully you can make it next week. We can discuss it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Hoping your class project is going very well. But as a fan in me, right? Like, is this going to lead to Mr. McMahon versus Triple H for control? Like, I hope this leads to it down the line. Maybe it's SummerSlam next year. Like, let's go. I can't wait for WrestleMania. I wrote the article on Bug Show Radio. I said this is the bumpiest road to WrestleMania of all time. Royal Rumble started off really well. We were on a high note. Then after that, it went way down. Elimination Chamber was not very good. Fastlane was looking horrible. Ratings were down the tube. The worst of all time. And these 4 returns have really got WWE going. Now, also, Bruce Pritchard is a new member of WWE Creative. He used to be creative up until 2008, 2002 to 2008 to be exact. He was basically the head of the Ruthless Aggression era in creativity. From what I've read, he's going to be the right-hand man to Mr. McMahon, and they're going to make a lot of changes, and they've told people to stay patient. They've told talent to stay patient while they make these changes. I've also read that Roman Reigns is actually convincing Dean Ambrose to stay, so Dean Ambrose may not be leaving WWE. I've heard that Roman Reigns has really tried to talk Dean Ambrose into it, and this was my point, is I really felt like Ambrose was only leaving WWE because Roman wasn't there, and now that Roman's back, I really thought there was a possibility Dean Ambrose can stay, and I think it's going to happen. I don't think Dean's going anywhere, and even if he does, I think it's for a very short time. And then on SmackDown this week, as I already mentioned, we had Kevin Owens inserted into the WWE Championship match. Now, everybody's flipping out. Why isn't Kofi getting that shot? Relax, people. Kofi's getting the shot at WrestleMania. Kofi Kingston's going to walk out of New Jersey, MetLife Stadium, as the WWE Champion. And I cannot wait to see that moment. Think about it. The planet's champion, Daniel Bryan, he doesn't like pancakes. Pancakes and cereal. Bad for the environment. Oh, God, could you imagine those promos? Oh, my God, those are going to be great. I cannot wait for this WrestleMania feud. Maybe Big E and Woods turn on Kofi. Is that something? Is that crazy? Probably. But it's my creative mind flowing right now. But that's a great storyline. I like the fact the Hardys are back together as a team, to be honest. I never really bought into the broken Matt Hardy or the Woken gimmick. With Bray Wyatt, I didn't think WWE took it to the full potential. I really like the Hardys as a tag team. Now, Matt next year goes AWOL, and at WrestleMania 36, we get the ultimate deletion. Let me correct myself. Delete! 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 If we get Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy in the Hardy compound, I'm okay with it. But I think for right now, the Hardys, WWE, they have like a team option, quote unquote, in basketball with the Hardys. They ended up picking that up. And so the Hardys will make a lot more money next year. So they're going to be pushed to the top of SmackDown, I would think. And I can't wait for it because I've always thought the Hardys are better as a tag team than individually, especially Matt. I never liked Matt much as a singles competitor. I thought Jeff's 2008 to 2009 run singles competitor on SmackDown was great. Besides that, though, I mostly just like the Hardys as a tag team, unless they go completely crazy and woken. And delete, delete, delete the universe. So as I mentioned, man, there's a lot of stuff going on. We got a lot of returns. A month ago, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Matt Hardy, Batista were not scheduled on the WrestleMania card. We weren't even sure if we were going to see John Cena. We weren't sure we were going to see The Undertaker. We weren't going to see, sure if we were going to see Kurt Angle, Triple H. And now all these guys are pretty much making WrestleMania besides maybe The Undertaker. They don't need The Undertaker this year at WrestleMania, I would argue, because they already have their part-time match, Triple H versus Batista. There's reportedly going to be some multi-man matches, so it looks like a better WrestleMania than even what it was a week ago. A week ago, we maybe had Miz, Shane McMahon, and, Daniel Bryan, Kofi, maybe, and, Lesnar and Rollins. I thought maybe Daniel Bryan, if he beat Kofi at Fastlane, would face John Cena at WrestleMania. I thought that'd be a great story. John Cena coming back, the 16-time world champion, trying to break Ric Flair's record by beating the Planet Champion. But it looks like we're going to get Kofi, and I think that's the better route to go. But yeah, you can read my article, and I've said the same thing I'm saying right now. This WrestleMania looks a lot better than it did a week ago. At MetLife Stadium, man, we're getting closer. We're just about under a month away. Can't wait. We're about 35 days away. Can you guys believe it? We're 35 days away from the biggest show of the year, and we don't even know the matches that are on the card yet, really. It's unprecedented. But WWE's going through a rough time. They're going for a creative change, and I think hopefully ratings will go up, and WWE will bounce back as we head to Fox, and we head to SmackDown Fox Friday nights, October 2019. All right, before we go, I'm going to jump into some Flash stuff. So the NC Golden Flashes, they took a hard L last night to Bowling Green, 77-72. They should have won this game, and now NC, they have to win their next two games. They have to win at Miami on Tuesday, and they have to win against Akron next Friday. They have to win those games. Akron's going to be a tough game to win. Miami, they should be able to win, but Bowling Green, they should have been able to win too. That's just to get into the MAC tournament, and I don't think they're going to get a bye now at this point. I may be wrong. But yeah, we've been talking about potentially going up to the queue to call these games for Black Squirrel, but we'll see. First, they have to make it. On the women's side of things, they play at Bowling Green today. Then they play at Akron on Wednesday, and then next Saturday they play against Buffalo. They need to win out, I believe. So for the women and men, man, they need to stop losing. They need to step up. I mean, the Flashes, we're known for our basketball and our baseball. Our baseball team is struggling this year uncharacteristically. I think we're starting out 1-5, and we have a lot of good kids on that team. And our basketball team started off real hot, and we're slipping here. I mean, Buffalo is the best team in the MAC by far. They should be able to get into the NCAA tournament. But I mean, we're all Kent State fans here, and it's going to be a little bit concerning if they don't beat Miami and Akron, because then we're not going to be able to experience it. I know a couple of our guys got to go to California last year to see Kent State in the NCAA tournament. We were hoping that's going to happen this year. Now, last year we weren't really expecting it. This year we were, and it may or may not happen. They got to go on a huge run here. We'll see if they can do it. Jalen Walker and Jalen Avery are going to have to lead the team. I like Jalen Walker and Jalen Avery both. I think they both have some NBA talent, but I think Jalen Walker can go cold at some points. And, that's the thing about basketball. It's such a hot and cold sport. If a shooter is hot like J.R. Smith or Kyle Korver, they're going to make a lot of shots. And if they're cold, they're just going to keep planking off the rim. So let's hope Kent State can make it there. All right, we're going to wrap this up here. This is going to be the last 5 minutes where I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about plans for next week and what's going on. So next week is the MAC Championship for Kent State Wrestling. And as you guys know, this semester I cover Kent State Wrestling for the Stater. So next Saturday, the MAC Championship for Kent State starts at noon. What does that mean for you guys? That this show is going to be cut a little bit short. Unfortunately, I already talked to my GM. She's perfectly fine with it. But next week, this show is going to be 10 to 11:30. I'm going to have to cut it short by a half hour, unfortunately. So that's going to be next week. Next week's show is going to be a little bit different. I plan on doing the first half hour, kind of talking to you guys, going over news, stuff that happened at the Combine, stuff like that. And then if Michael can make it next week, the last hour of the show is going to be him from 10:30 to 11:30. That's the plan right now. And the first half hour, he's a huge Steelers fan and a Pirates fan. We'll talk about him, about the Pirates in baseball, about his Steelers in the NFL. We're going to go over a lot of that stuff. We're also going to talk about some basketball, too, like we did with Andrew today, with Zion Williamson and all the kids. And then the last half hour of that, from 11 to 11:30, is going to be just what I talked about now for the last few minutes of wrestling. And, Michael is a great booker. I'm admitting to you, Michael, right now, if you're listening, that you were right about Charlotte Flair entering the Raw Women's Championship. It's been great. It's been needed. So there's that. I admit to that, and I think Michael made a great point when he was on here a couple of weeks ago. He said, he's a future teller. He's a booker. He looks for weeks in advance, and I'm a let's move on to the next week type of guy. But I'm starting to learn like Michael. You could hear my creative juices flowing today with some thoughts that I had. And next week, by the way, will be the day before Fastlane, so we can make our Fastlane predictions as well. With that being said, guys, I'm going to go and wrap it up here a little bit early today. Let Enzo and his uncle, I believe his uncle is coming down today, kind of get in here and get wrapped up as Pass the Mic enters into the studio. And they will be talking about the same stuff that I did about the Flashes. And I know that they're going to be doing their annual Drunkie of the Week. So if you don't know what that is, they basically take a person that, like Robert Kraft last week, who did something really stupid, and they call it the Drunkie of the Week. I think, let's see, J.R. Smith was on there once. Steph Curry was on there for throwing his mouthpiece. So, yeah, they basically take the stupidest person of the week, and they call him the Drunkie of the Week. It's a really cool segment. With that, make sure you guys tune in to our other Black Squirrel Radio shows. We got Fitness Finale every Friday from noon to 2. Victory Formation every Monday from 4 to 6. Will Connection Rico every Tuesday from 8 to 10. We got the Odd Corner every Tuesday from 6 to 8, so they're back to back as well. We got me, and then we got Enzo, and Mitch and Mike as well. Michael Show, Monday from 10 p.m. to midnight, which is a great late night show. I mean, if you guys are just looking for some entertainment late at night, that show is a place to be Monday nights, 10 to midnight. So again, thank you guys so much for listening in today. Like I said, next week's going to be a lot of talking with Michael, as I like to call him, Mike, WWE analyst. And we're just not only going to talk about WWE, but we're talking about sports and life, and we'll see where it goes. But I appreciate you guys listening in. I said something today at the last half hour of the show. I came on here and I said, that's something, That's an answer to a gift card giveaway. I don't know what gift card I'm going to give away yet, but again, reminder for the gift card giveaways is wait till I post the question until you answer. To me, that's the most fair. Wait till I post the question, because if I don't post the question, you just answer it. That's not really fair, because people that didn't watch the show, I mean, you have to watch the show to know, but like some people's internet is faster than others. So wait till I post the question, and then you can answer it. And they're always e-gift cards because they're just easier for me. I type in your phone number or your email and send it right to you, and that way you can use it anywhere you go. That being said, this is Brendan Lewis from Brendan's World, a man who always feels like his opinion is the right opinion unless you tell him otherwise, a man that loves to get straight facts, and a man that loves to debate. Brendan Lewis, Brendan's World, right over Box Soul Radio, every Saturday here on this network, 10 a.m., 12 p.m. I'll stream live on YouTube, podcast on iTunes, and Podbean, working on getting it on Google Play. That being said, guys, we will see you next week. Have a good one. This is Brendan's World.